we end up being at the doctors more. We end up taking more vitamins. We end up,
I will agree with that, though.
you know,
Yes.
having to take care of our bodies more,
Guys don't
because
like to go.
yeah, bearing a child.
Guys don't.
So thoughts on recent on the most recent and the upcoming debate. I know we talked about
Oh man!
y'all
All right.
talked about the debate.
Yo, that last debate was boring
because I
as
don't like
hell
talking politics.
until that flash showed up.
Hey yo, hey yo.
That
Let me
fly
tell you.
was funny though. I won't act like I ain't see the fly.
That was awesome.
Perfect. Fly Sean.
Yo, that was great.
Yo, let me tell you something. Ricky Smiley had me dying. Yo, I was too weak when he did his show, and they posted it on Facebook because I follow him on Facebook. So he posted it, and they had what was it? Flighty Fly. Well, I forget his name. Flighty Fly on the talk show. And he was like, hey man. He's like, I was just coming through.
Yo,
He's like, man, he was like, how'd you end up on Vice President Michael Pence? Hey, he's like, man, I was just buzzing around, and I just needed somewhere to land. And he's like,
dude.
oh, he said, so why did you pick his head to land on? He was like, it was just a bright spot to land on. I was
Yo,
like, hey,
man, I don't know because I watched it. I was there, like I'm watching this, and like, yo, this flies then like 2 whole minutes. So within the hour of that happening, not only was it trending, but there was already an Instagram page representing the fly to run for
right.
2020. There was all within an hour.
He got a Facebook. He got
There
a
was
Twitter.
already the fly swatters for merchandise sales on Biden's website. Like within an hour, yo, it was all about the fly constantly. You got Biden pictures of a fly swatter. You can buy merchandise. And
Same with Kamala. She had her fly swatter.
Yo, there was shit on Etsy for sale about the fly. It was all within before midnight. There was a whole new element to the election revolving around the fly, and that is one of the biggest highlights of this election for me. Because he landed there and stayed.
That's hilarious. That was hilarious. The timing of that. The timing of that
was perfect, yo.
Ricky Smiley told him he had to go get a COVID test. He was like, man, did you go get your COVID test yet? He was like, he landed on there, and his eyes was all red. He looked like he had pink eye. He looked like he had
that was the talk. The pink eye was talking for him.
I wonder how he felt to look, because he didn't know that fly was there. So when you go back and you see it, you be like, bruh.
If I was Pence, I'd have went home and just shook my head like, damn.
Yeah, but you know what's weird though? On a lot of TV, I don't know if Cheryl's seen this, but a lot of TV sets, and it may not be true with the debates, I don't know, but a lot of TV sets have monitors for you to see yourself.
Yeah, it might have been a monitor in there, but
God damn, dude.
I just feel like if there was a monitor, I mean, was he trying to shoe it?
No, he not once. Not one time did he do anything. Nothing.
So he didn't know that fly was there.
Oh, whatever, man.
I don't know. Like, if it would have been me, I would have went into a depression just because of how crazy I am.
Yeah, because everybody was saying flies only land on shit.
Yeah. Yo, I was definitely making that joke. Right. Like, yeah, that's what it was. So, and he tried to play it off not even addressing it, which is not something you need to do. Like, when shit like that happens, you gotta embrace it and roll with it. And I feel like Trump and his administration don't ever do that. Like, anytime someone says shit about him, they get upset. Anytime someone says shit about Obama, he joked with them. He used to go on SNL, and he used to go on Jimmy Fallon. Yo, he would go on these shows. He would joke with him. He'd make fun of himself and just roll with it. And everyone loved it. The blast. It was cool. But like Trump and Pence, they don't like that shit ever.
Well, you know why? And I think that goes back to being a culture thing for us because I'm sorry. You know how many times I've done sit in so many roast sessions with,
of course,
like we just in there laughing and up on each other.
The Yo Mama joke was fine tuned with our generation,
right? So it's like, you know, I've been to a lot of boring ass, and I don't want to because I don't want to just pinpoint only Black people to be that way, but I've only sat in on like, you know, where we would sit around and laugh and have a good time at just dumb stuff. Like, for instance, like when I was growing up and we were at church and the one girl, she was shouting the one time and her whole ponytail fell out. And there was this.
I've seen that
at the top.
I've seen that too much.
And I've seen that happen. Still to this day roast her over that. Like we were like, "Yo, your ponytail was like this big," and then
I've seen
was like it was screaming. Like
I've seen somebody's teeth come out mid song.
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
But like we laughed at it, we had a good time with it.
You know what? Asian culture, I find out because I watch a lot of Jeannie Mai.
Really?
You know, I watch her a lot, and Asian culture will roast you too.
Right.
I think all of them do. I think all the ones of color do it, and this is part of the. It's part. Some of it's just part of how we show love, like keeping people humble. We just be roasting the hell out of each other.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Like, all right. Real spontaneous right now. Hit me with your. Anyone say their best Yo Mama joke? The best one you got. What you got?
I don't know.
You ain't got none? Come on now, somebody.
Nah, I don't do Your Mama jokes. But
I don't know. That's like the basic level.
But see, I used to watch that show.
No, you can't go with that one. That's manufactured.
I don't know. I'm not good at that.
No. But listen, I never did the Your Mama jokes, but I'm the type of person where I just roast on people. We just roast. Like I'm not gonna be like Your Mama. Like no, I was be like, whoa.
I got you. But like now we do that where you make it very specific to that person. But like when I was like in elementary school and early middle school, like Yo Mama jokes was you had to have your arsenal ready to go.
Yeah,
I feel you on that. We did.
Or else you was about to get all the way just destroyed.
You're right. Because we did too. We had the Your Mama jokes down. Like
y'all ain't got y'all favorite one. Nothing.
No. Who's that comedian who's like the king of Your Mama jokes? The older black man. He was just on Vlad TV. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. All right. So there was a bunch. So when we were kids, there was a couple of like Dirty Dozen type of shows that came on, and the one which I can find again, it had like a very young like Monique. It had Tracy Morgan. It was like all the young comedians. They went on this show in the early '90s that was focused on that. It was Ricky Smiley's on it. He was stupid young. Like, and it was a show that was maybe had one season, and it was mostly Your Mama jokes back and forth.
George Wallace.
Oh yeah, George Wallace. I know George Wallace. He's older now, but yeah.
George Wallace. He's the king of Your Mama jokes.
Yeah, all right.
Except Brandon, he's the king.
I don't know. I'm not. I can't. I feel like it's unfair. I'm like, hey, give me a favor. You're like, we haven't got none. I'm like. You can't do
that. Like I can't sit and say like, oh man, I used to be like Your Mama. Blah, blah, blah. No.
Mine was retaliatory. I didn't start shit because I was shy at the time. Mine was retaliatory. I had a few in my bag just so that,
Let's hear yours, Brandon. Let's hear your favorite.
All right, so my favorite one, I don't know why it still makes me chuckle, and I know a whole bunch. But my favorite one is Yo Mama is so funky that her speed stick slowed down and stopped. And that was a go-to, man. That was the one that I went with.
I think they're so corny. Like
They are corny. They are corny. But like, you see, so the challenge, everyone had Your Mama So Fat. There's tons of Your Mama So Fats. You had to do it Your Mama as something else, and that's where the creativity came in.
I never remember
something else. You don't remember none of them?
No. I never remember jokes. Like my coworkers always telling us corny jokes, and we always laugh, but I never remember them.
You got Your Mama So Fat, she had to pull down her pants to get in her pockets.
No, I don't.
Your Mama So Fat, and when she wears high heels, she strikes oil. None of them? Nothing?
Nope. Sorry. Party pooper.
There's plenty of them, tons of them. And then, of course, the show came out with Valderrama, whatever, Fez from the 70s show. Oh, yeah, Wilmer Valderrama, yeah, that was his name, who hosted it. And then there's a bunch of them that were on there, Your Mama's hair so short that her cornrows look like stitches.
Snitches.
And, just a whole bunch of them, man.
Right. There used to be a whole bunch of them. I used to I feel you on that. There used to be a whole bunch.
But there was like the ones that were overused, like the ones that were like on Baby's Kids, like Your Mama's so stupid, her chili outside and got a bowl, and
I don't know how y'all remember though.
Your Mama's so dumb, she thought her quarterback was a refund, like the dumb shit. Now there's also the ones I thought was like another one I thought was funny. Your Mama's so fat she walked in front of the TV and I missed 3 episodes. That was funny to me when I was a kid.
I like that one.
All right, I was like, all right, well, damn, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was one of those, fatality ones. The Mortal Kombat fatality is like, well, damn. Okay, I don't know how to recover from that one, but that was a thing. Yeah, Your Mama's so old, she got an autographed version of the Bible. Here's that one. See? She laughed at that one. See?
She got an autographed version of the Bible.
That's what that thing. See, you gotta have something in your pocket to make some people laugh. But all you really needed was the right crew with you. So no matter what you said, all you needed was like 3 or 4 people to go, oh, no matter what it was.
It don't even gotta make sense. They'll think
it don't got right.
Like
it don't right. That's all you needed. If you had some people that were down for you like that, you can say whatever and it would go over.
Stupid.
Yeah, it'd be the dumbest shit.
Like
that's all you needed. Dang, your mom was so stupid. It took her an hour to make minute rice. And your mom was so stupid. It took her 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes. There's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, Lord.
Right. You're right.
So,
anyway, I would love for the next debate to have some Your Mama jokes in them because I feel like Biden wants to do that. I feel like Biden was ready.
Well, is right.
I feel like Biden was right there. He was ready to go talking shit. He was pissed.
He was ready for Your Mama jokes.
So the next debate with Biden and Trump, because Trump was about to pull out because they wanted to make it digital because of him having the Rona. He got the Rona, and they wanted to make it digital.
Do y'all even believe he had the Rona?
No.
That was a publicity stunt.
All the way.
If I've ever seen one.
That was so bad.
And you know what confirmed it for me? When he stood up there and said, "See, I got it and I survived."
So here, my also issue I have with that, and I made a whole meme about it, but the issue I have is the perception he's giving is that it's not that bad, but he has literally the best healthcare in the country. He has access to every single doctor, every single procedure, every new drug, the most expensive shit, all for free. So him surviving is unrealistic. That's like Magic Johnson survived AIDS.
The only person
for real.
he got
millions of dollars. Yeah, he survived AIDS. Yo, he was for real as a kid. Like he was one of the first people you ever knew that had him, that had the AIDS, and
that supposedly didn't, because they use, you know what they used to say about AIDS, how you got it.
Yeah, sure. Philadelphia, got you. But yeah, for someone who was HIV positive that should have died 20 years ago, he's alive and well, alive and kicking. So when you got the great health care, access to every procedure.
And then on top of that, at the time that it all happened, your wife didn't get it?
Well,
your wife didn't get it?
Maybe they wasn't fucking. Maybe they wasn't fucking.
Sway? How?
Maybe they wasn't fucking.
She had kids within that time frame. What the fuck is she?
I don't know. But you know what? He had the drugs to keep that from happening. He could pay for. I don't know. All I know is when you got money, health issues don't seem to be as bad.
You said as bad?
It's Magic Johnson. It's Magic Johnson. Yeah, it's not as bad, man. I don't know.
I don't know either.
So do I think that Trump had it? No. If he did, he had the best backup to pull that publicity stunt off. Because to me, it was the whole thing was trying to distract from the fact that during his debate, he did not denounce or condemn white supremacist groups.
I got a question. Did people really expect him to?
Yes.
Yes, there were people who expect. All right, so there are people who expected him to, especially when you're right on camera. Like that's what they expected.
They wanted. That's why they did what they did, how they did it, because most people would have done it just because you're in the spotlight.
Yo, even the moderator was like this is the time to say this. Like for real, he was like, "So are you going to condemn them now? Now is a good time. No. This is your cue." And and he just didn't. He took stand by, white supremacists. Yeah, no, no.
Yeah. But I can't say that I am surprised.
Yeah, man. You know what it reminds me of? Remember, I don't remember this or not. Maybe I don't. The Michael Jackson interview where they interviewed him about whether or not he was messing around with little boys and kids and stuff. And I think Mike Wallace was like the interviewer or something. And he was trying to lead him down the path of this is where you say you don't have sex with little boys. Like it was like leading him right to that. And Michael Jackson missed it all the way. It was like, huh? It was like right there.
When they asked R. Kelly directly, like, do you like teenage girls? And he was like, what you mean by teenage?
Right. Because he's going to be like, 18 and 19 kids, teenage, Yeah, all right. No, your answer's supposed to be, no, ooh, nothing. It's real easy to answer that.
So, guys, what's your thoughts on Black Republican?
Okay. I'm not even gonna engage in this conversation.
Well, okay.
No, you can't not engage. I'm not engaging.
Because I do not like people who purposefully, it's almost like they do it for clout.
Yeah.
I can't with that. I really can't. Like I really can't. And I get instantly turned, like right now I'm instantly turned off by certain people. It's okay to like Donald Trump. If that's what you like, that's what you like. That's fine. That is completely fine with me. But you cannot double standard that. Period. You can't say that you're all for the Black community, but meanwhile, you have this man who has done and isn't doing anything for them. And he is basically saying that I'm your white savior. Vote for me. Like, bye, kid. Like, bye. I can't. I just can't.
Here's what I'll say. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. The positive thing I can say is that they are definitely in the minority, and for them, those who do decide to speak up that are Black Republicans, that takes some balls, man. That takes some brave things step up and do that.
Okay, so what do you think about that Candace lady?
Candace who? We're talking about.
You know I'm talking about, Sherelle.
Yeah, the one I was beefing with Cardi B and
oh, okay.
Say about George Floyd's past and
yeah.
There's always gonna be outsiders doing that. That's whatever. There is. There's always gonna be somebody.
Okay. Okay.
I don't even know what to say. Like, there's always gonna be someone.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't even know what to put with that one.
Right.
But the more important one. Let's go with the people that matter.
She's people that matter. Republican.
Yeah.
And he's very vocal.
And I'm friends with a couple of Black Republicans.
And that's fine.
Yeah, and I'm like,
be one.
And I'm looking like, you know what's funny though? It's funny that, all right, so they were Black Republicans before Trump. And I'm like, oh, so this is who y'all pick? You're like, no, listen. They're trying to like explain the fuck out. I'm like, all right, look, he's not who I really want for the, you know, they don't like Trump and they don't like a Democratic like party. Like, but things like Kanye West and Ice Cube, which Ice Cube isn't necessarily part of the party, but he was trying to help him out with some things.
No, you know what? One thing I can honestly say different about Ice Cube is that he was asking him genuine questions of interest. And I can relate to that. Like, okay, if you want me to vote for you, what is it that you're doing for the Black community?
Yeah, and he was trying to. He's like, hey, look, you're the current administration. Let's try to work on some shit. That's what I feel. To me, I felt that was the goal. Not necessarily trying to be Republican. It was, if you're going to be in this position, let's at least try to get some shit worked out.
To be honest with you, Brandon, just to be 100% honest with you.
That's all I want from you, Alicia.
If I was rich, like Oprah rich.
Okay.
I would probably be a Republican too.
See? That's something else I'm trying to talk to you about. So, you know, Republicans cater to rich people. If you're rich, you might consider that. Like, if you're hearing, oh man, the Democrats want to tax the rich, and you're in that category.
They want to take out of my pockets to give to those who don't have, and when I work my ass off to get where I'm at, like, you know,
so you might go that way.
Where's my tax break? Like, where's mine? And
man,
Donald Trump is
when you're sitting in your Bugatti, that's your tax break. damn it.
Yeah, I work hard for that Bugatti.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
One of the stupidest purchases. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible purchase. Don't you ever buy Bugatti.
When you have money to blow, why not?
You really want to know why not? And I can tell you why it's a horrible thing to buy.
Why?
All right, so and it may have changed a bit recently just because of how popular they are. But when Bugattis first hit the scene, there was only one garage in the United States that was certified to actually service them. So then if you're something happened to your car, like you need new brakes, you'd have to ship your car across country to have brakes put on. Also, because it has 4 turbochargers in it, it's the biggest gas guzzler on the planet. It's so bad. Like, yeah, it's the fastest production car to come off a lot, but unless you're racing, you're never gonna go 280 miles an hour. It's just not happening.
All right.
So what are you doing?
I have like 60 pairs of shoes. I only wear one a day. So
I got you.
it's the same thing. It's just a fun thing to have and people like it. I'm not gonna knock anybody for what they because I'm pretty sure if I had money, I'd buy something stupid too. I mean
Yeah, that's part of what you do. You do that. Just,
exactly. Bugatti is stupid, but what is it?
It's actually done for me because I can't fit in them. I'm 6'4". I don't fit. I do not fit.
Yeah.
That'd be a horrible. I know y'all saw the video of the dude, like, he was big. He was like, he wasn't short, but he definitely was fat. And he like rented like a Lamborghini or something. And someone caught him on tape at the gas station trying to get out of his car. And he had to like fall out of his car. He couldn't even like step out of it. He like fell onto the ground. And he was so stuck, he was yelling at the guy with his camera phone open. And he's like, man, you better turn that off. And I was like, what you gonna do? You can't even get out to come at me. And he couldn't.
Come at me, bro. Come at
right.
me.
Exactly. Like, you're stuck. You can't even get out the car. What you gonna do? Nope, I can't fit. Not doing it. But
Here's
all
what
right,
I don't
yeah,
understand.
people. Good.
Why there are certain people who get upset with like Ice Cube, Steve Harvey. They're going to sit down on our behalf. What?
Because they don't sit down on our behalf.
But some people don't even know whether they do or not.
Right. I feel like the on the media.
Because you wouldn't talk to that person. You
right.
know?
The media around Ice Cube was so bad. They were like, "Oh, Ice Cube's with Trump." No, wait. That's not even right. Really, what happened?
Right.
And like, it's like, yo, people are so ready.
The only reason why people were on Steve Harvey like that is because Steve Harvey lied, and then it was proven to be completely wrong. He said,
"You're right. It was the other Miss America." I know.
It's like he was like, "Oh, I didn't meet with him. I never met with. I would never meet with that man." Blah 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 blah. But here you come down the elevator from meeting with Trump.
Like, I never heard him say that, but I just feel like that's like, why would you not meet with him? Like what? I don't know.
All right, so you know what's funny to me in regard to that, and maybe Sherelle, most of y'all should remember this. So before Trump was running for president, do you remember when rappers were talking about how much they wanted to party with Trump? Like Nelly and all them. Now I wonder when they do their concerts now, if they leave that part out.
Right.
I would.
Yeah, it was like, but that's when, like I said, back when in the 80s and 90s, lifestyles of the rich and famous, cool. Trump, whatever, gold and buildings, his name on it, whatever. Now we're like, you're out of your lane, man. You're doing too much.
But he
Sit the
never
fuck down.
liked black people. Like, that's what kills me, though. Like, that's what kills. He's always made it known that he doesn't like Mexicans or black folk. Like, he's never shied away from it. Like, he never hired black people. He didn't want them living in his condos or any places. He would blatantly tell you he didn't want you in his stuff. He would hire Mexicans and not pay them. Like, you would have somebody build your building and not pay them. Like, you've always been this way. So it made me so mad when people were like, oh, Donald Trump is this way. Donald Trump has always been this way.
Well, that's why the voters, his people liked him. Think about this. So he definitely would villainize Mexicans. He's talking about building the wall. So if they hear that he didn't pay them, they're like, yeah, of course you don't pay them. They're all with it. They are all the way with it. What's weird to me is how many promises. A lot of his supporters, his constituents, don't even keep track of all the promises he made that he didn't follow up on. The wall's not done. Hillary's not in jail. Like, dumb shit. Like, he would just say stuff. He's the same equivalent of class presidents for high school, when they would make all these dumbass promises and it's not even possible.
We're gonna get ice cream in the lunchroom.
Right. Like, we're going to have 2 lunch periods. We're going to do 4 gyms. I'm going to get rid of homework. We're going to do... They were the same shit. I forget who... One of the class presidents for my class claimed that we're going to get 2 lunch periods. You have zero power. You're going to be in charge of, like, the yearbook committee. Like, you don't do shit. But they would claim all kind of stuff. Just hype it up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And maybe it was just me. Because when I was 17, whenever they were running for that shit, I already knew, like, you have zero power. What you going to tell the principal what the fuck you going to go to the... And maybe because my mom was a teacher, and I knew how long it took to change stuff through the school board. You're not going to just be changing anything while we're here. Like, it's just not happening. So you just saying a bunch of crap. But they would say it, they would get elected, and then, of course, nothing would happen.
Right.
Nothing of any significance at all. They would make, like I said, they would do stuff with the yearbook, do stuff maybe with, like, the pep rallies and the mascot, like little dumb shit. Hey. And the same thing's happening here, but no one sees. He says a bunch of sensationalized stuff, which, you know, if you're not on top of it, it could sound great. Propaganda, info, like, he has the same tactics as Hitler did, which is definitely a go-to, but there's the same tactics as a lot of great speakers, including Martin Luther King had similar tactics, but he delivered on a lot of them. But they sensationalize and getting people excited and involved and all that. Like, there is a skill level and there's a skill set and a talent to getting people emotionally engaged for action, whether or not the actions that follow are even capable.
Yeah.
And he is spectacular at doing that. Say what you want, Trump knows how to get people emotionally engaged.
Yep.
And they don't even care why. They don't care why. They don't care to know why. It makes them feel good. You know what it was? It's this. This is a mentality I think that we're battling against. Because as we know, most of Trump supporters are underprivileged just as much as people of color, people in the cities. Because most of his demographic that he works with is suburbs and rural areas. Because they felt they were underrepresented. and they are just as poor as the people in the cities. In
Listen,
fact, the white folks are the
ain't
ones that,
never lied there, buddy.
yeah, they
When
are. They
I
are the
see
ones.
these Trump supporters
Uh-huh.
and they bucket tooth ass selves,
They are just as poor. White folks are the majority on welfare, even though they still, the stereotype is that black people are, white folks are the majority on welfare and government assistance.
you know why?
The
You know why?
Because they're 72% of the population.
Thank you.
There it is. So the mentality that's been handed down for generations, not just right now, but a lot of politicians have used the same exact tactic, is the message that's really put forth is, yeah, you're poor, but at least you're not black.
Yep.
That's it. So at least they feel, okay, at least we're better somewhere. We're better somewhere. We're better in this category.
And you know who brought that to light? Jane Addams.
Okay.
She said, she said, stand up if you want to be treated like a black person in our society.
They don't. No matter how poor they
Nobody
are.
stood up.
They
And
don't.
she said, oh, but remember, they have the same privileges as you have. They have the same everything that you have. If you want to be black in this society, stand up. She said,
You know
why
who
aren't
they
you
didn't
standing?
who they didn't ask?
Why
They
aren't you
asked
standing? She
they
said,
they
because you know that they are mistreated and you know that they are, I forget what else she said, you know that there's something else. She said, that's why you're not standing. She said, so that means to me that you know that they are being mistreated and you're doing nothing about it.
see,
She said, so who does that make you as a person?
they didn't ask that one that those hood white girls that only date black dudes. They'd asked it.
They'd have been like,
Because
I went and got me a
yeah,
booty.
right. Right, but you're right though. Yeah, but they don't. They don't. It's not a thing, man. And that's the mentality of always, like, politicians always shock that out. And I'm not talking about Trump necessarily specifically. We're talking about over the 20th century. The politicians were like, "Hey, I know you're poor, you got your issues, but you know what? At least you're not black." They don't say it like that, but it's like that's the underlying message being presented. And so many of the campaign slogans and many of the speeches over the 1900s was that. And that's what they hold on to. They know, like, financially, yes, they are in the same boat as many black families, many Hispanic families. Um, or maybe, I don't know, we're doing Latinx, so we'll just do that, say Hispanic. Even a lot of Asian families are the same way. But it's that mentality of, like, even with all of the bad shit, at least I'm not black. and that gives them a sense of, well, we're better than, and this is what it is. So the people that vote for Trump that are in the rural areas and they don't interact with anyone else, they're in their echo chamber, which we talked about last time, about being in your echo chamber and only hearing from people that reflect the same viewpoints. That's what they're going to grasp to. They're going to completely latch on to that, and that's exactly what he put forth. Now he would never. He hasn't been stupid enough to attack black folks, because in America we have this disproportionate viewpoint on racism. If you're in America, you say racist, it immediately, for most people, think it's black versus white. That's it. That's the first thing they think about. Even though you can be racist towards Latinx, you can be racist toward Asian, like anything else. But it's much lower in America because of our American history. I thought he didn't do that. What he did was he attacked the brown people with the wall, and the Mexicans are rapists and criminals, and he went back to they're stealing our jobs. Okay, if you live in Montana, you can't even find a Mexican stealing your job. What the fuck are you talking about? You're in Wyoming. What Mexicans are stealing your job? You are maybe in a community as a white American who's never seen a person of color in your life. But how is there an invasion of Mexicans stealing your jobs in your community?
That's a question that we would all like answered.
Like that never made sense to me. Oh yeah, they're stealing. What jobs that directly affect you that you feel they're stealing away?
So with that being said, does either major party understand the needs of the black and brown community?
No, that's why P Diddy was just posting that he wants to start a black political party. Sean Combs,
That's a bad idea.
Puff Daddy.
I think that's a very bad idea.
Papa Diddy Pop. What's his name?
And
Diddy Dirty Money.
Never understand when I say
Love. Ain't that his new name?
Yeah, I knew it.
Love, yeah. Like he changed his name to Love or something like that. Mr. Love. Captain
That's
Love.
Captain
people
Love.
will never understand when I say that that's such a bad idea. And
right.
Here is why. I'm gonna say this.
No filter. Just say it.
We don't know how to work with each other or for each other.
Crabs in a barrel. Crabs in a barrel.
We don't. And like, I wish we knew how to. It would make such a big difference when it coming together. And here is a big, if you haven't seen it, you need to go check it out. So did anybody watch? Because I was supposed to go. And then I ended up having to start school, and my nephew was starting school. So I didn't get a chance to go to the big rally, the Black Lives Matter rally down in Washington, D.C. Did anybody?
Not on this panel.
Did you watch it on TV? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen.
So I did. And I turned it off because I was so ashamed at the behavior that was being broadcasted.
Yeah, I got you.
And I was at that point, I was like, you know what? Now I understand why people say what they say about us. And it's absolutely sickening. Now, the guy who was running it, I don't know his name. I kind of came in at the latter part of it, but he was running it. And they were calling people up to the mic to speak. And there were speakers, stuff like that. So what happened is people, Black folk, we get long-winded. So people got long-winded.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the reason why Sunday service lasts until 8 o'clock at night? Damn it.
And so it was time for the march. It was time for them to march on Washington. So he had cut people off and he said, I'm sorry, I've had to cut this short. He said, I know there are a few people that did not get a chance to speak, but you will later. Right now we need to march. When I tell you there was probably about 5 or 6 people that climbed up on stage and said they were supposed to speak, blah, 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 blah. And he said, brother, he said, the mic is hot. He said, I'm sorry that you did not get a chance to speak. He said, but we ran out of time. It was not our intentions it was our intention to have everybody speak, but we don't have the time. So he continued to talk and you couldn't hear it. And then the mic, because the guy had his hand over the mic, and then he was like, "Did you just threaten me?" And then the mic went off.
Yeah. No.
I was like, yep, that just happened. Yep, it sure did. It's embarrassing sometimes. That some people just don't know how to act. And I don't know, I understand it's a culture thing for us. We are taught to speak up and speak out.
Sort of. We speak up and speak out
about the wrong things. I know.
Right. Yeah. Not necessarily at the times that we should, and in a way that we should. Like, we don't even necessarily always approach the situation goal oriented.
Also, there's no room to have any kind of differing opinion. Because if you do, then you're not Black.
That's right.
Or you're going against the group or whatever.
We can like Kenny G. That might happen. Go against the grain. But no, you're right. For real, all the way. Like, there's not a whole lot of room for having a diverse opinion.
Not within our community.
No. There's not. It's because I'm Black, y'all. And I'm Black, y'all. And I'm Black, and I'm Black, and I'm Black, y'all.
So on to the next question.
There we go.
Thoughts on gerrymandering?
All right. So it sucks.
That it?
I'm not even sure everyone understands what gerrymandering is.
So the definition of gerrymandering is to achieve a result by manipulating the boundaries of an electoral constituency. Did I say that correctly?
Constituency. There we go. It's all love. All right. Basically breaking it down like this.
I've never seen that word.
Like you don't even.
I've never. Not that I've never heard it, but I've never had to read it out loud.
I got you. All right.
I said
constituencies.
Okay.
Sure. No, that's good. No, we're good. Constituencies. We're going to learn that today. It's today's word.
We're going to learn that word today. Should I pull that definition up?
Hey, you might have to. I don't think everyone knows what being a part of your constituency, what that means. Pull that up. Because I want to make sure we break down what's happening. Because gerrymandering is really some real gangster shit that's happening with the politics. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
The word I mispronounced in public here. A body of voters in a specified area who elect a representative to a legislative body.
All right, so the key word in that is specified. Here's the issue. As we all know, currently with our governments, we have representatives. The representatives are, of course, responsible for a particular area.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with gerrymandering is how those areas are broken up, because your representative wants to represent the majority of that area. Whatever the higher percentage of party that's in that area, they want to make sure the representative is representing that party. The problem with gerrymandering is when they start to carve out what that area is with the goal of making sure they pick certain areas of that cutout that ends up with what the majority they're looking for. So if you are a Republican and you want to make sure that your area has the most Republican voters in it, you're going to go on the map and you're going to take your little Sharpie and you're going to draw, make sure that you draw this thing of mostly Republican, and like it's not even like squares or rectangles. It is some of the most crazy looking areas that they then where's Waldo the fuck out of to make sure they're connecting the dots of just Republicans or even Democrats. It goes both ways. And they do this for every election so that they have the most represented in their area. The problem with that is, of course, is that it's a big misrepresentation of what the majority vote is and how things are broken down. And it allows people to take power in areas and situations that if it was just based off popular vote, they wouldn't have. It's not like they break it down by counties, things like that. They literally sit there and they create the boundaries as to where their constituencies are. And it's if you have more time, there's something I definitely want each person to just look up and understand what gerrymandering is. And that's Jerry with a G. It's the most scammingest thing in politics, even more the electoral college. We talked about electoral college earlier. Gerrymandering is worse. Like, it is way worse on how they're distributing the representation of voters. Like, it's to me, it's like if you were to make sure that all your best friends were your voters, and you made sure that only their houses were counted in your little squiggle area. Like, no, I'm just gonna pick my best friend to vote for me. It's like voting for prom king, man. That's it. Prom king, prom queen. You're gonna make sure that those are your representatives. That's what it is. Whether having the majority didn't even matter, and that's what's going on. And so, honestly, I think a lot of people have a misrepresentation of how voting in government representation works here in this country. And I think it's fucked up. Gerrymandering is fucked up. We're still on this very we're in this false dreamland of what American democracy is and how it works.
I don't think it's a dream at all. I think it's very real.
Nightmare.
We don't have no power in that sense.
That's the dream part. People think we do. It's like living in the Matrix. All right? We think totally something different than what's really happening.
Yeah.
That's it. We do. A lot of people have this. They have the total. Oh, America, we're a democracy. We vote. Our votes count. And what's bad is they tell us there is the popular vote, which sounds like American Idol, and it's not. That just means that vote for vote, we decided on this, but then, as the government, we decided on something else. Like, the popular vote said this, but no.
Nah, we good. We ain't going.
Yeah, we didn't like that one. Okay.
Speaking of voting.
Yeah.
Thoughts on new voting laws due to the pandemic?
Trying to fuck with shit. But you know, at least how much you go. You know about the new voting laws?
Or you could vote by mail.
Well, that's been a thing.
No, like it's now like the thing.
It is the thing because of the pandemic, but voting by mail and having absentee voting is not something new.
You're
But they've
right.
been changed. They've been changing the laws with it.
But what I'm saying is now the new absentee ballot is become the new voting.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's been the new hot shit. Everyone wants to vote by mail. You know, I got you.
I voted by mail.
Yeah, I already did that. That's already
Yeah, me
done.
too.
That's already finished. It's already in.
Right, me too. Been there, done that.
So the issue with this is the new voting laws. There's a lot of battles in courts over what's allowed and what's not, and it's mostly about election day and what's being counted as a vote. So even with the voting by mail, the privacy envelope, that thing was an issue. Like having an envelope inside of an envelope so that it couldn't be seen and manipulated, that was an issue. That was a law situation that went to court. Then we also had to think about, extended ones. So Trump was having, do you remember Trump was having issues with the post office? No?
Still having issues with the post office.
Yeah, where that was a whole thing, like about the funding for the post office and the post office was having backed up deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time as like not supporting the post office so that deliveries would be on time was also in favor of if your ballot didn't make it in to be counted on election day by mail, it didn't count. So let's say because before the rule was as long as it was postmarked by election day, cool. Postmarked. As we know, that's the general rule. Whether it came to paying bills or electric bill or whatever it was, it had to be postmarked by the due date. But they were saying, hey, if it's not received. So you're saying it has to be received by a certain date, but then you're also making sure that the post office doesn't have the funding to pay people for their delivery and processing shift to make sure it's delivered on time. So you could mail your ballot 4 days early, but if it takes a week to get there because they've reduced staff and shifts because they don't have the money, then it's late. It don't count. So to me, it was super shady about controlling the difficulty of submitting your mail-in ballots so that, there's that issue. Like, I'm going to control when your shit gets there. That's where we're at. The new laws are mostly because of the pandemic, because of the Rona. Damn Rona. Because of the Rona, this election is going to run a little bit differently. So, like Alicia did, like I did, I already voted early. Get that shit in, get it done. No excuses. It's already there.
Right. Honestly, I just can't with this election anymore. Like, I cannot. Like, I don't even know how else to even say it. I just cannot.
You know what? And I say this to everybody, especially the people, especially the Zoomers and the junior millennials. I think that this is like brand new shit. That are like, oh man, this election is so wild. It's not. I don't know if y'all remember this. Y'all remember when do you know the term pregnant chads? See? Y'all remember that shit. So, do you remember when George Bush won and they had a whole issue in Florida about their voting system?
Yes.
And, where it was the pregnant chads with the paper ballots and it didn't go, like, whether or not, like, if the machine didn't punch all the way through, if it counted for a vote or not.
Yes, I remember all of that.
Right. It's the same shit with them. It was a big controversy because
I'm not
uh,
talking about that, Brennan. I'm talking about just this whole everything around this whole
right.
election.
I'm talking about what I'm talking about is not necessarily every election, but a large portion of elections throughout American history has some shit like this. This year it happens to be mail-in votes because of the pandemic. But then we had our pregnant chads.
And I just
You know,
say this, I don't I'm when I say that, meaning like in my lifetime, this is the first time that I've ever seen a president so blatantly disrespectful to the American people. Blatantly. Like before I could see Obama talking to Michelle like these fucking niggas out here ain't shit.
I'm sure at some point his frustration
but
has led to that.
but he never said it that we would know.
I mean, but how any different is this than Andrew Jackson?
I don't really know much about Andrew Jackson.
Okay, Andrew Jackson was an asshole to the fullest. Um, but what I can say, he was one of the few presidents that got America out of debt and in the positive. Like he completely erased the national debt. But yeah, he was definitely a ruthless motherfucker. Like he was not pleasant.
I don't know Andrew Jackson. Um the presidents that I do know, because I can even say that um Reagan Reagan was an asshole. You could tell Reagan was an asshole, but Reagan didn't verbalize his assholeness. If that's even like a thing.
Sort of, mostly. I can say mostly.
Mostly, he
But I can
did.
tell you, if you lived on the Reagan era as a black woman, you would not be happy.
All I know is that Reagan was an asshole. But
And a liar too. He's a liar too.
well, they all are. So I
Would you prefer though that it be blatant?
no. Mm-mm.
She's like,
There's a
respect me
way
enough to lie to me, damn it.
well, as we know, working in this profession that we work in, social work, there are a lot of people that we come in contact with that we would like to give them a piece of our mind, kids included.
Uh huh.
We have to
I
remember
did
to
that.
be professional. We talk about them afterwards. We will talk
Oh
about
yeah.
the kids. We'll talk about the parents. We'll talk about the other staff. We'll talk about everybody. And we just talk because that's the way that we cope. We cope with it because we just talk about it like, man, I can't stand that kid. I can't. I hope they don't come back here. They get on
Yo,
my nerves.
guess who I dealt with today? Yo, she just
But,
left, and this happened with.
right. But one thing that I prided myself on is my kids never knew who I liked and who I did not like unless you blatantly disrespected me in my face. Unless you were just totally there, because there was a couple kids that it showed. There you couldn't help it. It showed. But for the majority, for the majority, them kids could not tell who I liked, who I disliked, and I was fair across the board. I was fair to everybody. And every kid that I've ever come in contact with will tell you Miss Alicia was a stickler for the rules. If you did not follow the rules, you were not getting anything. Period. Period. That's it. I feel that if I have to do that in my job, if I have to conduct myself appropriate in my job to keep my job, then the highest position held in the world should do the same thing. I lead by example. And that's where I leave it. People don't want to, this and no, it's a job too. It's a job. Period. It's a job. And you're dealing with people. You're dealing with everybody. Not just the people that you like and the people you dislike, but as a president, you're supposed to fight for everybody. not just the rich. You feel me? Yeah. Are you going to gear more towards them? Yeah, of course. That's what you do because that's what you are. But no, no. That's just me though. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's how I think.
Brandon.
Huh? um, I don't even know. Like my mind and feelings are all over the place about this.
Say what's on your mind. Is that what you tell
All
me?
right,
Say what's on your
all
mind.
right. So what's on my mind is this: like, I feel nothing's new, and that's from what I've been taught, and from what I've looked up, my own research about American history and African American history and everything. There's nothing new about what we're going through right now, which is why I don't even panic. Some people are like, "Oh man, like this is so." People panic hard about shit right now, and even with the pandemic, I don't even panic that hard about that because this is not America's first, like, brush with a disease that's huge. And they're flipping out, and I'm like, you know what? This too
First
shall
time to shut
pass.
down the economy though.
All right, so maybe it's something to shut down the economy this hard, but with the Great Depression, other depressions, and the recession, this is not even the worst one of that one. It's just not. Like, because there were depressions prior to like Woodrow Wilson where government assistance wasn't a thing. Like before Wilson's reform and shit, there wasn't government assistance at all. There wasn't stimulus checks, and that wasn't even a thing. Like if you were poor, you went out of business. There wasn't bailouts. Like you were just poor and homeless, or
There were
completely.
no rephrase that. There were no bailouts for the poor. There were bailouts for major companies.
Yes and
For,
no. Depends on what you're talking about. So,
yeah, because they bailed out the banks. What do you mean?
all right. Hold on. I'm talking about early 20th century. We're talking about the 1900s, like turn this like industrial revolution.
Okay.
And the reason why I know this is because the president had to get a loan from J.P. Morgan to bail out the country as a whole. It wasn't even like the government just didn't decide on stimulus checks. The
Ooh,
government
that's
themselves.
it's so crazy though. It's
What's
so
that?
crazy. Is people have no idea what J.C. Morgan or uh
J.P.
Chase
Morgan.
Chase, which is the new J.P. Morgan or whatever.
Well,
Chase.
J.P. Morgan and Chase. J.P. Morgan was an actual individual. Right. All right. I got you. They don't even know about J.P. Morgan
And how they run this
right.
whole world.
They
How they run the world.
Right. To imagine being so rich where the president of the United States calls you for a loan to bail out America. Like, we need some money. Like, you have so much American currency that the president has to call you to get some back.
This is why they are the reason they are they're they're drug dealers. They are the ones who run the drugs in this country.
All right. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna try to keep telling this. I'm gonna say this to the day I die. Y'all, any of y'all people who think the history is boring, y'all are
right
missing out because all the rules and laws that we have in place because somebody, somewhere in time, has done some fuckery to the fullest that we had to make a law about it. All right, I'm gonna say it right now. In terms of this documentary that touches us the best, the men who made America, men who built America. It's about the Industrial Revolution. So they're talking about J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Clay Frick's in there, but we got Vanderbilt, Henry Ford. All of them are part of this. It's part of like the Industrial
Well, I
Revolution.
could
We're
go
like,
on and on. I just found out about, like, I just recently read up on it, and I go, oh my.
yo, all right, Alicia, please, I need you. I need someone to talk to about this. I need you to watch this series, and I'm guarantee you it is a good. It's a good show throughout. In fact, I'm gonna tell you right now, it has the best, most intense, badass like intro theme song sequence of any documentary you've ever watched.
What's the name of it?
It's called The Men Who Built America.
Hold on, let me write this down. I'm kind of becoming my husband, where I like to like get useless information about history.
All right, useless information. In fact, how about that? I'll lock you in with this. It's even tied. It's even tied to Pittsburgh, because you know Andrew Carnegie was here, and so you've heard of
Andrew Carnegie, dog.
Yo, no. Wait, hold on. Wait till you watch it. It ain't so much fuck Carnegie. It's fuck Frick. Henry Clay Frick.
Him too. But
Carnegie
is another. Carnegie hated black people.
Yo, you know what though?
Good.
Here's what I'll say about this though. He hated all people, okay? Because the only day of the year that you got off with him was the 4th of July. That was it. That's the only holiday he felt was worth anything.
He was Mr. Patriotic, Mr.
All the way. That's it. You work like 14-hour days any other day of the week. Now, I will say this. You can hate Frick all you want. A lot of people talk about living gangster. This motherfucker lived gangster. Like, he was those assholes that backed that shit up. And he had a situation.
He had mob mentality.
He did, because somebody came in to kill him. They shot at him. They stabbed him in the he was shot at, stabbed. He whooped their ass. Like, he was stabbed, whooped their ass, and then finished the workday. He finished his workday, grinded it out, then went to go get his stab wound fixed, and then he came back like the next day, ready to work, doing this shit. Now, since we're in Pittsburgh, real quick thing. You know down at the waterfront, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the smokestacks down there?
Mm-hmm.
That's part of Carnegie's factory. That used to be down there. The Pinkerton riots. Have you heard that term?
I've heard of those, yes.
Okay, the Pinkertons was a privately contractable, like, military force. Like, they were more powerful in our area than the U.S. military was, and they were able to be bought and privately contracted. The Pinkerton riots.
Yes. So
yes,
I heard about them in one of my social work classes.
I'm sure you did, because when those smokestacks are all lit up, looking all pretty and cool down at the waterfront right now, that was the site of several murders, because there was a strike, and Frick, on behalf of Carnegie, called in the Pinkertons to get order. We're talking about a group that was more powerful than our U.S. military at the time in our area. Privately owned. They came down there. There was
area has also been known for
a bit of a scuffle.
We've always been known for even like coming down to like that whole mob mentality, like a lot of our neighborhoods were ran that way. That's why we have Polish Hill. That's why we have, the Hill District. That's why we have.
Yeah. And this all leads to a bigger picture, man. Because
Mhm.
even Carnegie, to me, I want you to watch this, because Carnegie, like, it had a bit of a soft spot, though. That's why we have, the libraries, and even Carnegie Hall in New York, and and we had like little shit. Like, he had a soft spot. The Rockefellers and the Vanderbilt, the J.P. Morgan, didn't have these soft spots. But these were before the laws of monopolies. They created this shit because of what they did. Like, we're talking about a group of like 5 people. There were so many laws invented regarding the stock market, investments, and insider trading, and the monopolies and franchise. Like, those 5 people back in the early 1900s were the reason for so much shit.
Mhm.
And people who love Wolf of Wall Street, the reason why that movie was what it was
I
was
love that.
because of the laws that were created because of Vanderbilt and Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan and that. There would be no Wolf of Wall Street without the crap that went down with them.
I love that movie. One of
Oh,
my.
that movie's awesome, and I'm kind of mad that Leonardo DiCaprio didn't win an Oscar for that.
That was a good movie. You see that movie, Shara?
I tapped out. What was the movie?
What? What? You
Uh,
tapped out?
Just for
What?
just for a second.
Wolf of
Oh
Wall
my!
Street.
Sorry.
How can you tap out? It was such a
Somebody
good
was
movie.
somebody was asked. No, not on the movie. On the conversation.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
Did
don't know what
you
movie
did
we're
you
talking about.
watch Wolf of
Wolf
Wall
of
Street?
Wall Street.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh,
Oh, it's even worse answer.
you're missing a good ass movie.
Okay,
You need to
so
add that to your list of movies you need to watch.
all right, all
And I
right,
have
all
it at
right.
my house.
Okay, if we're gonna have a movie marathon, I got some movies to watch with that, man. Like, to understand how the financial climate is in America beyond our bottom 99%. We're talking about the top people. We're talking about the rich and the wealthy. There's a short list of movies that I have that I think paints a good general picture of how shit works.
Okay, so
So
how about we do this? How about you give us those movies and then we wrap it up because I gotta go to bed.
cool. I'm with it. All right, so list the movies real quick. Wall Street, the original Wall Street, the one from the 80s, the one that has Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen. It's
Wall
called
Street.
Wall Street. Watch that movie. All right. Then you have there's a sequel with Shia LaBeouf that's worth watching. That's on the list too.
Wait, what's the name of the
It's called Wall Street. It's just
the
plain Wall Street.
the remake?
The
Is it
sequel,
called Wall Street?
it's like Wall Street 2, or it's easy to find. But Shia LaBeouf and Michael Douglas is in that one. That's the wall. But then there's 2 more that definite watch, and that's gonna be Boiler Room, which has Giovanni Ribisi and Vin Diesel and some other people way back when. That gives a great indication of the unlawful side, even more than Wolf of Wall Street. Because Wolf of Wall Street was like playing the fence. Boiler Room is straight illegal. It is. It is. It's a great movie to understand how Wall Street's works on the illegal level. It's called Boiler Room. And then, of course, Wolf of Wall Street is playing the fence. And Wolf of Wall Street is a representation of the 80s with the yuppies and the yachts and the yacht rock and that whole thing. But if you want to go beyond that,
That movie was so wild.
it is wild. And Leonardo DiCaprio should get an Oscar. Do you know he improvised? Remember the Ludes scene where he's crawling to the Lamborghini, like from the payphone?
Yeah.
He improvised that entire scene. That wasn't directed. It wasn't scripted. He made that shit up. Going down the steps, all that. I know Sherelle's like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
I think I saw Boiler Room though.
With Giovanni Ribisi and Nia Long.
I think I saw it.
Yeah, that one. Because I guess the best quote to describe that is when he was like, "Hey, look, Biggie Smalls was like, if you want a guy at the hood, either you're selling crack rock or you have a wicked jump shot," which is a quote from Biggie Smalls, one of his songs. He's like, I did the white boy equivalent. I sold stock. That's from that movie. That's it.
Well, we'll have to check out the list that Brandon has supplied us.
Do it. If you want to understand, finance in America.
This has been a very productive conversation.
I'm ready, man.
Yeah, I started getting into politics and kind of like American history, and I kind of, because I wanted to be that person who I like to shut people down with facts.
Shut them down.
And I don't like to be the person that don't. I want to shut you down with facts.
Well, yeah. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Hey yo, Alicia and Sherelle, but Alicia, I'm gonna share with you that series. I'm gonna send you an intro. I'm telling you, you can get to that show. I want everybody. Final thought. I need y'all to learn some American history to get a grasp on where we're at currently.
Yes.
Final thought for me, continue to do your research, continue to learn, and do what's in your heart. That's how I feel about it. Believe what you believe, but be open-minded enough to hear people who have a different opinion than you. I don't particularly enjoy discussing politics publicly myself, but I will engage in a conversation privately with a close friend or family member as I feel led. That's just me, which is why I didn't comment today.
Hey, bring it. I'm ready. Bring it. I'm ready. I'm ready to come to me.
So I keep my political views private because they're ever changing, they're ever growing, and
which they should be.
Yeah, and also, I like to have room and space to change my mind about certain things. Without that, remember you said that you. I don't need that from you, or people feeling like they have to tell me what to think, who to vote for, what to, whatever. I don't like the idea of that type of stuff. So that's why I didn't share it. But that's my final
thought. My final thought is this. I don't give a flying rat's monkey booty hole what anybody got to say about my political view, to be honest with you. Mine is forever changing. I also believe that there are good things on both sides that I do agree with. And I think that's the hard part for me, is because there are both parties typically bring something good to the table.
Yeah, you don't have to be blindly following one side or the other.
Right. And I think that's where people kind of get misconstrued with things. Is like, oh, because I have this view now, I'm straight Democratic. That's it. That's it. That's all you can follow. So everything that the Democrats follow, you are now a Dem. I can't stand that. You're a Dem. Like, no. I there are lots of things that I agree with. Um I just personally think that, Donald Trump's an idiot. And I think he's just being led by more or less those that are in power. And you'll catch my drift, Brandon. Um, so I think he's a puppet. I don't think that he is who he's truly being. I think he's just a puppet in this whole thing. But anyways, um, I also am going to encourage people to be more involved. Don't just say that you are, and kind of like, learn a little bit more history, learn a little bit more what's going on. I know I had to, but especially before I can speak on it, I've learned a lot over these last couple years. I'd say the last 10 years, I've been getting more and more into it, and I'm learning a little bit more, but I also have to go backwards to go forward. So I need to learn about the past, about different things that have gone on, and how things have not really changed. And it's like, if you really want change, you need to know where the change needs to be.
You have to know, like,
the pattern,
how it got here to this point that we're at.
Right. And that's why I am definitely a firm believer that, like, I don't feel that Black people in this society, I feel that we need to be, first off, one, reprogrammed, because they'll have that same, a lot of mentalities of the past. But also, I feel that we need to heal, because we're not going to be able to heal. I mean, we're not going to be able to move on if we don't heal. It's like anything in life. You got a cut on your arm, if it has to scab over, and then it'll heal. You know what I mean? The scab will fall off, and then your cut will heal. And I feel that we have never even got to the scab part as a community. So I feel that we, once we get that healing, I think we'll be all right. But yeah, that's my final thoughts. Learn.
Hey,
knowledge is power. It's power.
Anyone who thinks that history is boring, come to me. I'm gonna tell you it's not. I'm for real. Like,
FYI.
And there's many ways to learn about history. Like, you don't have to do it one way. You don't have to go into just the books only. If you don't enjoy reading, you can watch a movie. You can go to YouTube. You can
come to me. Ask questions. There's a lot of murder and sex and scandals and ridiculosity, and we can touch on that point. Yeah, that's what it's mellow now compared to what it used to be. So come at me, because I have the same issue. I want to know about all the scandals. So if you want to know about some scandals within the past 200-300 years,
conspiracy theories are my favorite.
Even conspiracy theories. I don't even want that. We didn't even get to that. Oh my God, we didn't get to that part. That was on the list.
We can do it.
You know what? That might be something. We gotta touch on, man. Our favorite conspiracy theory
in itself.
Let's do that, because
So then, like, not next week, but the week after.
Let's do that.
So,
which is another one Brandon will be leading, and
Black women are now the top race in sex to be the most educated.
Okay, I know where that was going. I was like, yeah, I agree. was going. And I agree with the
which
ending
are
part
gonna
too.
say, but I agree.
Yeah, I was with. You had me at black women. I was ready to go. All right. So yeah, I guess just final thought. I'm gonna let y'all go. It's getting kind of late. It's a huge topic, but hey, listen, love y'all, and I need y'all to like, share, comment, and let me know where y'all at. Let me know where y'all want to go, and let's make this happen, man. 30p, 30 perspective. We got things to say nowadays.
Doing it out here.
Yeah, we got Alicia, we got Sherelle Unique, and we're trying to do something, man. We got to start somewhere. Here it is. So.
All right, y'all.
All right.
It's
Good
been
night,
real.
y'all.
We out.
Uh,
Boom.